Hey, we're live. Check it out. Woo woo. So it's been a minute. I'm that same person that's been on this channel forever and ever. There have been a few changes in life. Right? How do we make you more normal and level looking? Can we do it? There, we can do it this way. Okay. Yeah, so lots has gone on since then. Um, I used to be a guy. I'm not, obviously. So I used to be Chris. Now I am Krista. And what prompted today was YouTube threatening to demonetize our channel. And I was like, oh, all right, whatever. It's fine. Yeah, so 2015 was pretty epic. I was super depressed and I kind of wanted to just quit. I sort of tried, it didn't really work. So then, oh, that's not going to go there. So then, we moved to Georgia. And that was sort of a Georgia or bust thing. All right, we need to reposition you because that's a weird view. I'm still kind of a goofy weirdo. I've always been. I mean, that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Oh my gosh, you're right in my face. Wow, that's a bizarre. We got a new camera. So that way you can really see every poor pimple, blackhead, and everything else going wrong on a person. That's fine. You're totally welcome to say hi and jump in. I see we have a couple people watching. That's awesome. Thank you. I have a mic. Personal questions are fine as long as we stay respectful. If you have a genuine question, say, yeah, I have a weird question. That's fine. It's all fine. I'm walking over here, putting things away. So when we moved to Georgia, we couldn't find anyone to make our tanks. And that was horrible. We almost lost the business, probably a few times. Who knows? So we ended up getting a rotational molding machine. And I put it together, got it working. And now we have our own tools in-house and we make our own tanks. I'm going to go grab some inserts. The HM tank takes 28 5mm inserts. It takes how many? 3 8mm, 2 6mm, and 7 4. Wow, so that's a pretty incredible camera I'm looking at there. All right. Nope, we went from 3 to 1. They're dropping like flies. But yeah, so it's been a minute. If folks have seen lots of my videos, you know that I hate doing videos. Well, I hated, as in the past tense, doing videos. Because I didn't really see that person in the video. I don't want to say I hated myself, but you know, that's the closest thing you could come up with. It just wasn't me. So we have 5 groups of 5, and then we add 3. There we go, 28 5mm inserts. A big change we did was we did get rid of everyone else's products. So we're not doing chains and sprockets. Trying to rotate you up a little more. Okay, top of my head. Tall girl. Okay. Yeah, so we're not doing chains and sprockets, stuff that's not what has our brand or what we are responsible for manufacturing. We don't do those. Mostly chains and sprockets, kind of spark plugs. Totally got out of the general store kind of mode of business. When we moved across the country, we almost lost our belts. The people in LA stole them from us, and they're selling them via Parts Unlimited. They don't have the same background of engineering as our manufacturer. We got in with Best Torque because Best Torque, the guy running that place, his name is Del Stork. And Del, I think, he never said, but I think he got screwed over by Gates like 20 years ago. And so he's made it his life mission to go into every Gates market there is and provide better products for fair prices. And believe it or not, we all thought Ducati would be a slam dunk. And then once he realized the truth behind reality, he started getting a little worried. Because everything about Ducati is not good practice. So like everything we do is worst practice. We never change our sprockets. We run open belt covers. He almost had a conniption when he went to Ducati Island. It was pretty crazy. And then on top of that, the belts are non-standard lengths. So if you say it's a 95 tooth belt with a 3/8 spacing or 9.525 millimeters, that belt is not going to be the right length. So he had to, I think he found it intellectually stimulating to have to solve that riddle and play with it. And so we've been selling belts for over a decade. Well, geez, over a decade's fair. I don't know how much longer, but I know it's over. And then as, they were established in the market, the trust in them grew, and the business is I've always been, I found out I'm autistic, which makes sense. That's why I have such incredible values about how we do things and being fair or correct, not cheating, stuff like that. So businesses like that. And they like dealing with us for that. That's sort of the foundation of the reputation of the business of Cycleworks, was that. And so, how do I get this to show? Wow, that's really an interesting field of view. I'm gonna have to get used to that camera. So yeah, if you get those belts from Parts Limited, they're not gonna be the same as ones that Dell makes. Additionally, so they're the same folks that make the belts for like Harleys in the aftermarket. So that they were kind of rude to just steal our product from us, because that's kind of like about the only real thing we've got that's special. And sort of I was the only one crazy enough to bring it to market. Oh well. So there's a pretty bitter moment there. Yeah, so like that depression stuff, then I don't know how that's just somewhere I was like, what if I'm a girl? And then I guess you could say I practiced a little bit, and then I realized that's who I really am. And for the first time ever, it was Christmas of 2020. I saw a picture of me that I liked. I was like, holy crap, that's me. So yeah, that pretty much affirmed I needed to ruin my life yet again in another way. You know, it wasn't enough to be an entrepreneur and a weirdo and a motorcyclist. We had to just, go extra. All right, so that was me personally. Is there anything else? Like, so what else is new? Yeah, we're here in Georgia. I've married, and my wife stayed with me, which was great. And then we have a girlfriend. We're a little nutty like that. So you'll probably be seeing her in an hour, maybe, or less. I had the COVID early on, and it liked to have tried to kill me. I was just completely, it was worse than mono. And then on top of that, it made me stupid. And that really disappointed me. Like, I had brain fog for 8 or 9 months. I had started on our fuel injector test bench, like version 3, and that didn't do anything for half a year. And also, I want to get into casting to make our fuel flanges, because that saves money and I can change the design. And I've got a whole bunch of crap towards that. I just haven't finished that, and I haven't done anything past the first few steps. And I mean, we bought a kiln. I don't know. That's just crazy. We got a couple cats here. I should have known I was always a girl. Always wanted cats around. Jeez. Yes, stereotype. Haha. Is there anybody watching? Yeah, I guess somebody is. So, like, I'm 51 now, and getting through life. The next big chunk of survivability for our business, I think, is going to be moving out of retail spaces. And so we're probably going to get a farm or something, or maybe even an abandoned church. And we're going to put this giant oven in it. Anne will probably stay here in Conyers. She is the current steward of the business, because I noped out of adulting. But I didn't nope out of living, so that's good. She'd probably move the shipping and stuff and belts and all that into her home. I don't see any comments. There's still only one person watching. Is my microphone on? Can you hear me now? Whoa, it's not showing up on the thing. Well, that sucks. Maybe you can't hear anything. Hey, you're there. It says yes. Thank you. Thanks. The little microphone slider button thing isn't responding. So we're not exactly in a hurry to make new products, which I'm a little sad about. It's just there's not enough of me to go around. I'm making the tanks, and that's hard, especially even though we might call it a firmware upgrade, I've lost strength, and that just really sucks. Are we gonna move you around so I can play with this other mold? Wow. Okay, I guess we're tilting you back down. All right, so this is the other half of the HM69 mold. All right, let's tilt this mold this way. Hopefully I won't knock it off. So we're behind like three bake cycles. Wow, this camera, I need to figure out if there's a way to unzoom it. That might help. Are you Sertac? Thanks for saying yes. I appreciate that lots. So I think I'm behind 3 bakes now. Molding is hard, and I expected that. That's not a surprise. What did surprise me is how strongly it affects production. So in that arm behind me, there's only going to be 2 molds, mine. Most rotational molders count on a rapid 20-minute cycle in order to have profitable production. And our tools, like this mold has 41 inserts. There's no way you're going to be able to turn that in 20 minutes. Like, forget doing what I'm doing now, which is scraping off the excess plastic from the flanges so we don't wreck the molds. Just getting the part out and getting new inserts in. You need a NASCAR pit stop just on my tools. So nobody wanted to run my tools here. And it turns out the folks in LA who were running them for us, they were going to end up going in-house. They were going to stop working other people's tools. So weird bit of, I guess, luck. So this rotational molding machine is from those people in LA who were our best molders. They built it, and then they made a bigger one, and then they made another bigger one still, and then they sold this one to a fella, and it just sat in his parking lot for 10 years. So we drove back to California, spent a whole lot of money getting this oven in our space. And now we can support our tanks, which is pretty awesome. The HM69 for the air-cooled hypermotard, and our MTT tank, which is for, I guess you could say, the classic generation of Monster. So from like 93 to pre 696, 796. So our tanks fit those. That one's been keeping me busy. We're behind like 3 of those right now. And it takes like a couple hours to prep the molds and get them ready to do a bake, and then an hour and a half to 2 hours to do a bake. So I have done 2 bake cycles in a day, but not since COVID. After the COVID hit, I did not have the energy to push the way I did before. So I felt like I went from someone in their 30s to someone trying to be 60, but I'm only 51. I technically still own 2 Ducatis. I don't really ride anymore. It's just no fun riding in the extreme heat here without the reward of some twisty roads. People kind of drive really poorly around here, and I guess I'm a little bit over riding motorcycles. I hate to say that, but I think that's the truth. Oh, we lost all our viewers. We're all gone. If you are a longtime fan of me and my business, thank you very much. And if you comment with a specific question, I probably will go live again. I do it quite often, actually. I just hadn't been doing it where you could see me because, I'm scared you won't like me. And I think there's good reasons. All right. Oh, geez. I didn't do the front. So this part, I scraped the molds. Some of the plastic escapes from inside the cavity and it builds up. And so you can get like 1/10 of an inch and eventually maybe even 1/4 of an inch of plastic built up between the mold sections, and then they stick together, and then they behave poorly. It just, it literally bends the mold, and that's not a good thing. I'm about to come into view. One of our neighbor businesses threw away these government-style tables, so I put casters on them, or these are desks like in the military. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. On the personal side, I've been weird my whole life. I knew I wasn't normal. I wasn't right. Was I gay? Was I not gay? I don't know. I was always a weirdo. I didn't exactly advertise it, but, at the same time, I didn't hide it either. And, I just launched a spring. That's gone. Is it gone? There it is. Yes. It's pretty rare to find a spring. Oh, dang. Maybe you missed, you almost didn't miss me getting on my knees. Heh. So, yeah, and I think it was around 2006, I sort of, I guess you could say, experimented with wondering what my gender was. That's too loose. This isn't going to work. So this is something else that they would never do. Oh, I need to make a change. I need to fix this insert. It's too loose. Who cares? Let it leak. Make money. That's how industry works. That's why people sort of like me. Oh, good gravy. Nope, we're not going to loosen that. So we go get a tap. And tap. We don't have a tap here. So I'll just keep talking and you can keep staring into the abyss while I go get a tap. Staring into the obelisk. It's like oblivion and abyss all in one. And actually, it's not a tap, it's a die. Okay. Here we go. M8. You know, I bought extras so I could keep one at the insert station. So, you know, it wasn't there just now, but hey, it will be now. Yeah, and then right after the Rona hit, our sales just stopped. If it wasn't for PPP, we wouldn't be here. I just straight up, I'd have gotten a job doing database work or something. I don't know. Like, basically, the PPP kept rent and the bills paid here and at home for all of us, for my family, Ann's family. All right, let's try this again. So folks had always wanted to kind of connect with a personal level, on a personal level with me, and I sort of always resisted because how? Pretty much if I ever met folks in real life, I would, have a few beers to help with that. As if you saw us at Laguna Seca, you remember a few beers and or a few whiskey. That was why. Incredible social anxiety, serious imposter syndrome. Sure, why not, What else is up? Yeah, I have this pretty cool 750 SS injected. Doesn't have much done to it, and I'll be selling it. Sadly, I put ethanol gas in it once, and it killed the everything in the tank, so I replaced that stuff with parts we had, and got it running again. It has not had ethanol since. I still have Pongo, the motorcycle. Pongo broke his engine case. And so the last time I rode Pongo, you could imagine I might not have been in the healthiest state of mind back in those days. And so I think there might have been some exhibition of speed on Miramar Road. And and I pulled up to a stop, and there was a highway patrol motorcycle that just didn't notice what I had been doing, because if he would, I would have gone to jail. I'm pretty sure of that. And I got back to work, and I was like, that's not appropriate. And I put up an ad to sell the heads. Somebody bought the heads and Go Fast parts. So I sold the recipe to a guy in the UK. And then I sold the bottom end to a shop, but then we gave him the money back because it was broken on one of the cylinder one of the cylinder case threads. Is that all the inserts for this? It is, but we need to do the vents. Yeah, so I do have Pongo. Pongo is being held up by a 750 engine, and it has not been run. Pongo still has the California Duck Ugly license plate. If you want to buy Pongo, that would be fantastic. If you want to buy the SS, that would be fantastic. I'm sort of broke now, so, like being depressed and bad life choices and, that stuff costs money. Bad decisions are expensive. I mean, I'm not like broke. I thought life would be cool. Like, hey, I'm 49, 50. I finally have good pay going, and which I did this backwards. And I mean, I wasn't set, but at the same time, I wasn't worried. And then, I don't think it's Rona's fault as much as just late stage capitalism greed. But like everything got more expensive to the point where like we went from being positive every month to making ends meet again. And it was like, I'm always about the big picture and what's next. And I was like, this is not sustainable. We're not going to be able to stay in the shop and pay bills. So when the lease is up, we'll probably bail. If you are in your 30s or 40s and are fit and want to make money, I would love to sell you the oven and the tools, and you could carry on with these. I'm a little bit old and a little bit tired. I ain't gonna lie. So these vent tubes are required to let air in and out during the process, because if this is a sealed system, when it gets hot, air is going to want to escape. So you have to have these vents. So we stuff them with sink scrubby. I'll bring it up to the camera. So it's just sink scrub material. The curly cues of stainless steel. It works awesome. Historically, the industry used steel wool. However, steel wool is flammable. Like if you take a torch to steel wool, it lights up and burns. This stuff won't. And then you're all, but like, what about, it should be fine in there. Well, the oven does recirculate with a burner. And the resin for cross-linked polyethylene is flammable. So you combine all this extra and then you end up with the potential for an oven fire. So it's good to not have flammable vent material. Another kind of big thing are those F wires for the fuel pump flanges. And I've always been about solving problems that people get, and that's a huge problem, those F wires. But We bought a batch of 500, 2010, 2009, somewhere around there, forever ago. And right away they had problems with leaking. And so we would test them and then found out that they weren't doing a great job putting the assembling the plugs on those. So we ordered another batch to be solidly cast, and then they did that, and then they didn't solder the wires. So like tens of thousands of dollars, just bye-bye. And so for the last decade, we've been kind of remanufacturing that original set of 1,000 wires, all the while looking to find somebody to make them for us so I wouldn't have to. And we're almost out of that 1,000 wires. So on my If Life Was Easy channel, which I linked to, there's a series of 4 videos just for the process to do those F wires. And we found a company that would do them. And we talked about it, and we just don't really want to do a business loan and owe people money. So we're probably going to just drop F wires altogether. The part that they're making for us is actually just the little piece in the middle, which replaces the flange wires on 1098, hypermotard, maybe even some of the new black plastic flanges with the push-through connector. But this allows that with sleeves to be adaptable towards, say, early EFI bikes and the SSs with the metal tanks, as well as the round monster flanges that fail. So you'd have 3 different types of fuel sending units covered by the same family of modular parts. And so probably we're going to try to find a shop that wants to do those and sell them, and we'll help turn them onto the technology. Because if we just quit, there's going to be no solution. The factory's discontinued the original, what are those things? The sending units on like metal tank injected monsters and SSs like 716 or 748-916, like all those are discontinued. So there's a pretty healthy market for this stuff, but they just need upfront money, and we don't have it and don't want to do it. F wires have broken my will to live a few times over. So I just don't know we're going to keep doing those. I've informally asked a couple people. I guess I need to get serious and, I don't know, get on the phone and bug people or something. But I'm pretty sure by the end of the year we're not going to have F wires. And I just don't know we ever will. I just don't know. The exhaustion's kind of caught up to me. That really sucks. My whole life, I guess this is payback. I always looked at folks like in an infirmary, sick, lame, and lazy. Now I'm one of them. All right, that mold's done. Let's do the other one. Oh, maybe I could put you over there. Is that a chance? Is that something I could do? Maybe I could get you right into it. I don't know. Maybe next time. Maybe if folks want more. All right, so we're going to scrape. This is the monster mold. Change the date dial to 9. Kind of another big change is my vision's starting to kind of fall off. I mean, like, nothing to complain about. It is what it is. The, you know, you get old and that happens. So I can see pretty good at arm's length, but I need readers for closer, and I need corrective lenses to drive. I mean, I don't need them to drive, but I like them to drive so I can read signs and see things, you know? I'd probably pass their vision test. I kind of have a feeling of how much vision I have left. Oh, goofy me went and bought a rollback truck. It's an industrial rollback. So it's not like super intended for cars as much as just anything you can put on it. And I intend to use it to move the oven. That truck's been a lot of fun. It's a 1986 Ford Cargo CF7000. I talk about it on my other channel, If Life Was Easy. Link to in the description. I might do a bunch of live updates here and there and everywhere. We'll see. I mean, you could say I transitioned. I started transitioning in like Thanksgiving of 2020. So almost 2 years later, and I'm finally coming to terms with it enough to feel confident to say hi to folks. You know, I'm starting to run into people in the emails and stuff that knew me personally before. So I'd say, oh yeah, by the way, I'm Krista now. I have that firmware upgrade. And everyone's been really great. I mean, you say like, why wouldn't they? And it's like, well, if you've seen the news lately, they want to make being me a felony. So yeah, there's a little bit of a target on my back. So the last tank we did was red, and the next one's going to be black. So I want to do a little bit extra good job getting rid of red detritus hanging around on the flanges and on this tank. I guess I could sort of come up with an occasional hangout with Krista kind of live thing. Maybe folks would like that. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, crap, if I know a lot of our customers are my age now, 15 and 20 years ago, so geez. I hate to ask the question, or actually I would really hate to learn the answer, but how many of our customers that I've met and shook their hands, how many of you still survived COVID? I do miss Laguna Seca for that. I really did enjoy seeing folks shooting the breeze. I need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do miss that aspect. It was a lot of fun to socialize with folks, and everyone's enthusiasm kind of helps fuel me. And I just, like, this life of being an entrepreneur is really not easy. And when folks would say, "Hey, thanks for the blah blah blah, it really helped," that makes a big dang difference. And it would make me feel better for a while when folks would do that. So I always liked going to Laguna and just saying hi to people. All right, let's scrape this red off. I think these are Teflon tubes. Or if there's a generic equivalent, I don't know. I don't care. Another thing that production rotational molders, they don't change the packing and the vents every time. So you run the risk of it clogging, or what if it falls through or something like that, or catches fire. So I change it every time, because why? That's cheaper than running a whole nother bake. Like, I'm at the other end, other extreme end of rotational molding industry, and that I do whatever it takes to do it right. All right, we did that. We're going to do these 4. This is the second tank project we started, this MTT tank. Our first one was the MH51 for the Halewood Evoluzione that Turblanche and Ducati introduced right around Y2K and started delivering Y2K 1 or 2. And it had a pathetically small tank. So an owner's group did a group buy, and we engineered a tank for it. And that got us into rotational molding and got us started on manufacturing. Learned tons since then. When we started, I was at the other extreme spectrum of making these. Like, they would just show up in a box from LA. Now it's like I'm the tool maker, I'm the maintainer, I'm the molder. So I put these on springs because when the plastic begins cooling, it shrinks and it pulls away. And so if you don't have the inserts on springs, they will kind of deform the plastic, where it shrinks and pulls away, but is not allowed to where the inserts are. And yes, I'm wearing practically no clothes because it's really hot in here. Yeah, lots of huge lessons on this mold. I really should have thrown this tool away early in its process, because the 14 or 15 grand we invested to not quite get it halfway was far less than the time, money, and heartbreak and tears we would endure since. Here in Georgia, by my hands, I have made and sold 113 of these tanks. And so the only thing that kind of keeps me going is, we sell them for 500-ish bucks. It would sound like $500,000. Is that right? 500 times 100. Yeah. I mean, I don't have no $500,000. We get requests all the time for new tanks. That's not probably going to happen. I can help somebody design it and run it or make it, but we helped do the multi-strata tank, and that was a disaster. Like, the initial group buy happened, and then no one else wanted any. We've sold like 3 cents, 4 cents then. And that just was just an abysmal failure. That was the hugest failure of all time. Hey, we got 2 people. Woo, doubled our audience. All right, we did the bottom mold. I need the 2 sides. So we're going to bring the 2 sides over one at a time. Maybe if we do this right, you can see them. They're not heavy, so I don't need my back brace. So new person visiting, if you were a longtime fan of the channel, say hi. I'm the new me you get now. I ran away from California and then became one of them transgendered people in the South. You'd think it'd be the other way around. People from the South go to California and then they get all California and fruit and veggified. No, I came out here to the South and decided it was time to quit lying. Wow, this camera is so weird. I'm going to have to watch this video and figure out. It changes everything. So instead of just an HD webcam, it's a 4K. Like, if that camera was on your monitor at your desk, people would see if you have nose hairs sticking out. What are they thinking? Hopefully it makes for a great stream from far away. This mold kind of sucks a lot. I mean, I talk trash. I love this mold, but I really should have done it correctly and made a product for customers and not what I think customers want. I was like, oh my gosh, people would love to have a monster tank. Everyone loves customizing their monster. And, like, what would I want? Well, I'd want to be able to hang off and take it to the track. So this tank's all about getting your knee down, but nobody likes it. People begrudgingly are starting to buy it because it's the only option. Honestly, we should make another one, sort of copy the OEM design. I have a few ideas, of course, but I mean, who's got 50, 60,000 bucks to just throw at a new product? So yeah, if you're all like into old monsters, buy the oven and then we'll make you a new product on your money. And I'll be like, oh, that's cool and fun, and you know, I'll just have you'll have to figure out how to pay my bills at home. Sounds like UPS is here. Yeah, so this mold leaks a lot. There's not much to do about it. I mean, honestly, this industry has, like, rotational molding. They have kind of crappy mold quality anyway because they don't need it. And no one cares. So I should just not care and let the stuff build up until you need a damn chisel to get it off. So yeah, this one was red on the last run. It's going to be black on the next run. So we need to get all the red out. Your mic is still on. Okay. I'm just checking because I don't know when I last charged it, so I have to pay attention. Goodness. Okay, just kind of detailing the last bits of red that I can. I mean, the red really stands out on a black tank if you let it stay, so I do put a lot of effort into keeping it out. Yeah, that big truck we bought's kind of hilarious. That thing, I guess it's my new motorcycle. It makes me smile when I drive it. So I guess that's sort of a good thing anyway. So there's this, like, tube in here I need to try to get. All right, I think we're about done with this piece. Just try to get all the red we can out of it. grab a couple bolts. We'll throw it up on the other mold. Dang, I keep seeing more. Go away. So like you don't use air because it just blows things where you didn't think they would be. So like, yeah, it might get it out of your face, but it puts it in the middle of something else. That's no good. We got this machine in 2016. Is that right? I don't know. Girlfriend. How you doing? I'm good. How are you? I'm good. I'm live. I'm live on the Cycleworks channel that I have not been on in 10 years. And we have one person watching. One whole exciting person. And it's in 4K, so they can like see the zits in your forehead. Watch your step. Okie dokie. I was threatening to wash your cat today, but maybe not. Here's the other side. You figure out how to jiggle this so that the fun parts jiggle, not the tummy parts, you know? But, oh well. No more comments. Okay. You're welcome to comment, say hi, ask dumb questions. It's all good. This fuel tank fits Ducati Monsters from 1993 until the 695, which is around 2006 or 7. So it fits the 400, the 600, the 620, the 750, the 800, the S2R 800, the 900, the S4, which is a 4-valve monster, and the S2R 1000. And then I forgot the 695 while going up through the numbers. And the Monster 1000. It fits all those bikes. Over 1 million motorcycles produced that this tank is compatible with. Crosslink polyethylene is the same material as like the Baja tanks. So when you see Paris-Dakar rally and they've got their tanks and you can see the stuff, that's just natural crosslink polyethylene, so it's translucent and you can see the fuel level. We have a custom compounded black and a red, and they are opaque. You cannot see through them. What I've started doing too is after I go live and make a video, I'll share it with the customer and be like, hey, this is your tank I'm making for you in this video. So when they get their black tank and it has red all in it, they'll know I tried. But there's kind of always detritus on these things. Like there's always something from the last bake, whether it's the same color or not. And you don't want, you want to minimize that as much as you can. The way cross-linking works is that after its first thermal cycle, when it gels and sets, it's a thermoset. That's it. You can't melt it and flow it. You can't recycle it. Any of these bits, if they stay, aren't going to be integrated in that matrix. They'll be the same as like a grain of sand hanging out. So we minimize the contaminants. And then we maximize reliability by having a tank that's like 1/4 of an inch thick. I think it's been very successful because of how long we've been making these and how tremendously few, amazingly few actual problems. Is this piece ready? It seems like this one went twice as quick as the last one. Oh, there's a little bit more right here. Okay. Grab us a couple bolts. So I'm the one that polished the polished surfaces of this mold. I applied the textures to the 2 side pieces. I polished the upper part. I sanded and polished. Like it was pretty rough, block sanding a few square feet of aluminum. All right, let's see if we can figure this out. Because you want to be able to see something. So I did polish this. It was a coarse finish when I got it. And then I think I've repolished it twice. And we need to work on not doing polishing again because every time you polish it, it just introduces wear that's deeper than you would think. And you have to kind of reset. And to reset, you got to go to like way to the beginning with the grit. Oh, this is really angry. I think I told myself we need to put grease on the flange last time, and we didn't. Now I really regret it. Fine, I'll try to do it this time. Dang. Yeah, that's just a bit much. Maybe I'll bring you over so you could see a little better. How would I do that? Right up in your teeth. So usually the plastic will just kind of lift. The stuff here is just like embedded. And once it does that, you got to knock that off because that's just a bit much. So probably what I'll do, I mean, at some point we're going to wrap up today. John. Oh, thanks, John. I appreciate you saying hi. Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit less of a stranger. You can't paint our tanks. It's just like the Baja tanks. You can put stickers on them and they'll stick a while. And what'll happen is that fuel vapor can leave through the plastic matrix. That's the same as it's been on those really old fuel jugs and those Baja tanks. And so when the fuel vapor escapes, if there's paint, it will bubble and lift it off. If there's a sticker, it will try to bubble and lift it off. With a sticker, you can just poke it with like a hobby knife and collapse the bubble and it's fine. But paint doesn't do so well. In theory, you could Caswell line the tank and that would hold the vapor in. I've done a little bit of testing, but we haven't had a chance yet to do that right. This camera is just, how am I going to make it to where you could see what I'm doing and see me? I don't know. I just, maybe not today. I want to get done the easy stuff and then I'll probably leave the big fight for tomorrow. Yeah, the tanks are pretty awesome. I'm not entirely sure, but we might not have had any of these MTT tanks leak later on after the fact. We had a couple that would leak right away and we figured those problems out. We added more material so we'd get better inclusion of where the inserts are. We warranty our tanks. So if it leaks and we can't get it fixed, talking to you, we'll make another one and send it out. But I don't know if we've done a warranty MTT tank. I'm sure we have. I just can't imagine we haven't. We've done a few HMs because I believe that the people doing them previously weren't getting enough heat to get sufficient cross-linking. What can we do for a different angle? Can we... Ow! That's my knee. That's okay. I have two. I can sort of do this. Sort of. I don't know. It's so weird. This camera is just so strange. That's kind of the goofy thing, like so many folks don't get about creators is, you change one piece of equipment and it's like everything you did before doesn't work. So when I got my phone and it's in a vertical place, it's like I can't get me and what I'm doing in the frame at the same time. That's okay. Maybe I don't have the prettiest face, and that's all right. Tanks. Yeah, it's a pretty killer tank. I loved it. I had one on my S2R for forever. Geez, maybe 10 years. And it was kind of funny because you go to Laguna Seca and I'd draw on it with a magic marker or Sharpie, and the guy didn't bring the ladder, so I just stood on my tank on my bike. Both feet right on my tank. It's fine. There was a little bit of drinking involved. I mean, things tend to happen that way. I had a pretty great 10 years there for a minute, but it wasn't ultimately who I am. I had to change. The lie was just not enough. It wasn't enough. I needed a real me. I was thinking that somehow I could get this to where you could see it and me, but I don't know. We'll see. Let me try again a little more. I don't think that's going to work. Oh, mate. Nope. Nope. You turn? Oh. I'm driving over your power cord, though. I guess this sort of works. Oh, jeez. I don't know. What if you were right here instead of right there? Let's do that. And then we'll tighten you here. We'll loosen your frame. You seem to do well far away. Holy crap, that might be incredible looking. We'll see. We'll see. Dang. I mean, geez, it's pretty incredible. This it is pretty great. I'll give you that. All right, what else? The tank, monster tanks. I wish we could have done those ST4 or ST2 and 4 fairings. Like those guys quit doing them. You can do that via rotational molding. And this stuff is incredible. Like when you don't have gasoline in it, you can paint it. But the material is just so rugged. Holy crap. It's just insane. And like I said, I was standing on my tank, bouncing on it to music. We were playing House of Pain Jump Around, and I was jumping around. And people were worried I was going to jump off the bike off of its stands. It was fine. Bless you. Whoever the vendor coordinator was at Laguna that year, it's like, do you guys need anything? Yeah, we need a ladder so we can put up our sign. This is Thursday, doing setup. MFR never brought us a damn ladder. So we're all like cursing his name. I'm cursing his name. I got my freaking ladder. I'm standing on my motorcycle. Like the redneck I am. I think I did literally say, hold my beer. I'm pretty sure that happened. I am from the South, so I mean, California can't get rid of all the South. They can try. Yeah, this part here just really says F you. Wow. That's as bad as I've ever seen. I'm like digging up raw aluminum underneath this plastic to get it to go. That's just nuts. So I love that I have my molds here because I can love on them and make sure they don't get too much buildup, and I'm nice to them. I can talk to them. I mean, you have to be a little crazy to be biker people anyway, and then definitely to be biker business people. Crazy, very crazy. Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes. Well, you can't see this. That's, wow. Okay, whatever. Oh, you can see that. Your green light's still on. Wow. You know, you gotta be careful to not go into where it's polished or screw up the edge, because that makes everything worse. Yeah, I had to kind of round on this corner. Oh, you can't see by the filler. So I was being all careful, and I was working on rounding off that edge. Maybe you could do, can you see it here? Yeah, like this edge here by the filler cap. So it's at the bottom of the well of the filler cap. And so I was working on that, and the flapper wheel exploded, and it threw scratches across, and I literally just dropped everything and started crying. Like I knew right then and there it was going to be a couple months before we were going to be doing these tanks again. That edge somehow had gotten too sharp, and we were starting to split the tanks there when demolding, when taking the mold off the tank, when we just had it made. And that's not good. You can't do that. Plus, that material was an experimental material, and I was very not impressed with those folks. Their crosslink wasn't very strong. So, John in the UK, if you're still there, our UK importer is Stu at Exact UK. And so we sell through him. He buys from us a lot. So you could get the tank from him and save lots on shipping and not have to deal with import. Wow, gosh, that's unreal. I think I took my nails off yesterday because, geez, they would not have survived today. They were already driving me nuts. I wreck my nails all the time. There's still plastic. Can you see it? Probably not. All right, that's just stupid. All right, I guess I got most all of it. Holy crap. I just can't get over. It just doesn't make sense how sometimes it sticks a little and then sometimes it clings like to the edge of a cliff and it doesn't want to die. It just really is mind-boggling. Or as Vice Grip Garage Guy says, mind-bottling. Mine bottling sounds more fun. It's like you just were lobotomized and they took your brains out and they put it in a bottle. So the bad guy can look at it on the shelf and laugh. Wow, I conquered them. Okie doke. We might come over to grab the hot tub. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah, that was sort of the plan. Bye. Dang, now I'm going to have to make sure my flab doesn't show too much. Jeez. I mean, it's a good thing I'm 51, so I'm, once you reach a certain age, you're allowed to have a little bit of extra that, just whatever. That's what I'm sticking to. That's my story. All right, let's make all the red that we can go away. And then I think what we're going to do is leave. And I should just do the part I don't want to do today, I guess. Jeez, so you guys are so mean to me. So I got the little blowy sucky toy thing because you can blow with your mouth hole and get stuff out, but some of these parts are just so big and they take so much that you end up blowing your spit all in it, and then we don't need that in your gas tank. It does not make gas tank better. And then this isn't from the blow tip, so we have some semblance of control of the amount of blow, and there's not going to be oily water. And definitely oily water we do not want in your tank. Since y'all were yelling at me for being lazy, we're going to go get the goo to put on the flange so that the plastic won't stick next time. Wow, there's still some red in there. Holy crap. I mean, there is really just no getting rid of it all. I just try my best and... Did I break it? I broke it. No. Oh, no, I'm broken. Oh. Fail. Okay, so we're going to get some gloves. We're going to get the goo from there it is, from over here. This is the goo. So maybe we move you back again and rotate you up again and try to make it to where you can see a little bit of what's going on. All right, so there's the mold. There's the top of me head gone. So yeah, we're an hour and 30 minutes in, and you get 20 minutes to do all of this work under normal production. In other words, not sustainable. So you can't see what I'm doing. That's just great. I mean, you know, it's just video. Who wants to watch? So this stuff is called Zip Slip. And you're never going to be able to read that. It is... I think it's like a silicone gel lubricant. And it's formulated so that you can spread it. Don't be pervy because it doesn't work well as lube. Or be pervy and it doesn't work well as lube, I guess. You know, I don't judge. I'm just saying it's probably not the best for that kind of thing. You know, someone might say, not that I've tried. No, I have. It doesn't work well for that. So the zip slip positively prevents anything from sticking where it currently is. So it's very important not to allow it to intrude upon the interior of your mold, because your plastic right there won't stick where it is. And we need the plastic to briefly at least stick to the mold. We do have mold release applied. That's the yellowing you see is actually the mold release. We reapply it every, I don't know, you know, you could do it every 5 times, but I'm closer to 10, I think, when I do them. Get rid of this contaminant. Oh, wait, let's put the lid on. Now what I'm going to do is kind of check the edge against the light. I don't want any of it to be too wet. So that's too wet. Maybe I'll just kind of drive along. If it gets too wet, it can travel to the interior. And I've seen it. I've been screwed by it. That's not consensual fun. Well, that'll be some kind of protection anyway. I have designated rags for getting on the inside. You're very careful never to let them travel over the flange where the zip slip is, or that would be bad. So yeah, believe it or not, where it's polished, it does have mold release on. It is a water-based mold release, and it has fluorine in it, so it's pretty nasty stuff. But it's like, I apply it, and you have to apply it hot, so like you have to have the mold near boiling, and you apply it, and it kind of hardens, and so then you polish it with a wet rag and try not to get burned. Yay! Almost done. We can almost put this thing back together and then go home, knowing we've done a good job today. So right here are 3 5mm inserts. We have a vent, and then the pin goes through here to form the drain that goes underneath the filler cap, and it simply just goes through to above the air box. And we have a 1/8 MTT fitting, elbow fitting, that goes there. You can put a hose on it or just leave it. And you go, oh, but oh my God, you're spilling gasoline. Yeah, whatever. I've done it. Grow a pair. I'll give you mine. Ouch. Oh gosh, that's way too funny. All right, why is this tight? Oh, it doesn't have a locking screw. So when you unwind these to take the tool out, or take the part out of the tool, they unscrew from the nut holding their place. Your cameras or your microphone's still on. Anyhow, like I said, comment, say something, I'll get back. Probably I'll do more lives from this channel, and maybe in my other channel, I'll just do individual things, individual nerd things. The other channel is If Life Was Easy. I linked to it in the description. I just don't know what to do with a lot of my Ducati stuff because I'm not quite the Ducati nerd I used to be. I still am a huge nerd, you know, but like I'm not Chris. I'm not a Ducati guy. I haven't worked on one in over a decade, so certainly not a Ducati tech. So I was like, well, I'll just sarcastically start another one of If Life Was Easy. Because if life was easy, everyone would be doing it. All right, here's another vent tube. Let's make the tank roll back. Make you a little higher. Uh-oh, I did something. I think there was a play and pause button on there. Sorry. And in case you didn't figure it out, you're directly in front of a light. Yep. Who cares? It's fine. It's fine. So every time I say that it's fine thing, I'm referencing that meme of the dumpster on fire going down the river and there's somebody in it and they're just saying, it's fine. Like their whole world flooded, but what they've got is on fire. Sounds great. All right, we have our vent tube. Let's cut off a little chunk of sink scrubby. And stuff that in the tube. I need a stuffy poker jigger thing. All right, that's in there. Put it in from behind. Definitely time for back brace. This is the heaviest piece of mold I lift. All right, we'll point you at there. We're unhooking your power cord from the tripod. Oh yeah, so that's the 15 to 60. This is a 72 to 1. And so when this spins 40 RPM or 40 hertz, this spins 4 RPM. Ish, close. All right, now we're... So yeah, all of this is, you've got 20 minutes to take the old tank out, get the inserts loaded, and load the shot, meaning the powder, and then get it going again. It's just not that easy. Okay, what I want to do is try to put you on the side now, see how that works.